In this Marvel's Avengers video, we're going to show gameplay as Thor in the final Hive mission, the Evil Reborn. This walkthrough will also include a narrative throughout to give you tips about how to play the Thor character. As always, a like is greatly appreciated and will really help out the channel. So let's go. And make sure you open up all of your masteries. There's no need to add points to abilities you don't use that often. Now here, what I'm doing is I'm always knocking down those resources. The fragments are important because you want to conserve those fragments for upgrading yours. And you'll also level up as you discover new areas. So as soon as you level up, you have more skill points available to you. So you want to find a quiet moment where you can go off and add that skill point to your tree without disturbing the other players. It's a balancing act between being mindful of other players and keeping your character in the leading role. So here I am flying to the objective. One of the things I love about playing Thor is you have the ability to fly. And when you're playing with other players, your teammates, you actually have this master ability. As you can see, my other teammates are playing there, and I can cause the ground to turn red, and if I have my masteries unlocked, it's going to increase damage for all of my teammates to take out these enemies very, very quickly. So what you want to be paying attention to is making sure that you are using your damage buffs throughout the gameplay, and then making sure that you're contributing to the overall damage output of the team. And every single time you have a super unlocked, you want to time the use of it to work best with your team. Now here you can see there's quite a number of enemies in the ground that we have to take out in this initial doorway before we enter the main area. Balancing between flying around, and I like to use my ranged attacks a lot, especially on the more difficult levels. And if you're playing with higher level teammates, it's okay to stay ranged because they will soak up a lot of the damage from the enemies that you encounter. Thor is one of the best ranged characters because you can target a specific individual and pin them literally to the wall. That's one of the best skills I like to do. And as you can see here, we've almost finished the hack integrity. We reached the location. We're about to go inside. Now I want to make sure that we go through. There's Iron Man. Want to make sure that we loot everything before we proceed. I think everything's being looted, so we're going to head on into the elevator. Now the elevator, you're going to see that the color scheme that I use throughout the channel is up there on the wall. It is the black and yellow color scheme with the black letters. It's really kind of cool.
Good.
The time that we're inside this elevator is the very best time to upgrade your gear. So this is the time when you want to go in and do that trick I showed you earlier, adding those masteries to your character, making sure that Thor is at his very, very best level. And as you can see, there's the elevator icon. It's a short elevator ride, this particular one. We're going to have a squad immediately. As you can see, Captain America, my teammate, is already starting the round. You always want to have situational awareness about where your teammates are, especially if they're higher level than you, which you'll typically find as you approach the end game. Now, we have 6 floors to explore. This is our first floor, so we're going to be here for a while. And what you want to do is make sure that you are contributing to the overall match. Now, the best way to do that is you use your energy boosting lightning strikes. The lightning strikes are some of my favorite abilities because, as you can see, the lightning is constantly striking the enemies reducing their armor while the rest of my team is going in there and soaking it up. It's a lot more fun as well. These frost giants, they really pack a big punch, and you might see one of them took me down. It's nice to play just 2-player. The reason for that is you also get 2 non-player characters that can revive you if you die. If you have a full team of 4 people, then you really need to be on voice chat, like with headphones, so that you can call out if one of you is down, because it's happened to me that I've been at the top of an aircraft carrier and I have no one to revive me. Now here, I'm using Thor's hammer. I spin it up so it's going really fast, and it does both a lot of damage, but it also can pin enemies to the wall, so that literally disables that enemy, so we can take out some of the weaker enemies that might be taking us out. So what we're doing here now is we're just going to progress through here. We have to defeat all the enemies that are marked, and ranged is a real definite way to go with this. Also, this level, you want to make sure you capture all of the hidden chests that have loot, and once you complete it, this has a lot of good loot drops. A lot of gold loot will drop during this level. It's really, really a great mission to play. I highly recommend you go with the Hive storyline. The Hive storyline is among one of the funnest storylines you can play, and you level up several times during each story. In addition, when you complete the entire storyline of the multiple hives, you will have some legendaries that will unlock. So now we're going to proceed to the 2nd floor. We're back inside the elevator. I'm using this time to upgrade my gear. Once again, I'm going to head over to my Masteries and make sure that I upgrade my criticals, spend my skill points on increasing my Odin Force. Odin Force is the lightning bolts. Go in here to the intrinsic overcharge, the intrinsic abilities. Make sure you fill these out pretty much left to right, depending upon how you play. But I think melee is the majority of the time that you're spent. So you want to make sure that you increase your damage output. And the simplest way to do this is with those masteries. Like I said, unlocking extra skills and moves is okay, but probably by now you've unlocked most of the moves that you need, and you really want to make sure that you fill in all of the mastery levels. Remember that. Fill in all of the mastery levels. As you can see here, I pinned the enemy to a wall. This particular kind of enemy also, they put out a shield. You really need to be careful of those that have the beams. One thing though is when you grab your hammer again, like I'm going to wind up with my hammer again and pin the enemy to the wall. There he is, pinned to the wall. Lightning is striking off of him. My other teammates are attacking him simultaneously as we're doing this. And what ends up happening is we are together now. See, there's the enemy pinned to the wall again. As soon as I grab my hammer, he drops to the floor, and if he's still alive, then you would probably need to attack him again. But here we've pretty much taken out everything. So I like to sometimes do a quick run through. A lot of the chests in some of these levels are hidden, but in this case they're not. So we're going to proceed to the third floor. Actually, this is not the third floor. This is the advanced level of the second floor. And what we're going to do here is we have to take out these 4 turbines. Turbine A, we're starting with that. You see there's already an enemy there. I'm kind of ignoring him. He hasn't quite seen me. As you can see, he just finally attacked me with a spell. I really like to play the objective more than take out all the enemies on the field. Thor is really a great character for playing the objective because he has a number of good buffs that will keep him alive. So here I pin the enemy to the generator. That frees me up to sort of just attack the generator while he's sitting there disabled.
You disabled the turbine.
Okay. At the same time, he's getting AoE damage from my punching attacks of the generator. So I've already taken out 2 generators while my teammates are soaking up the mobs. And that's a good way to go. At least one of you always needs to be playing the objective, because sometimes the enemies can really overwhelm you. It's not necessary to take out absolutely everything to advance. Now here, I was down by that big boss, and as you can see, the Incredible Hulk revived me. That was a non-player character, so I'm not actually disturbing my teammate, asking him to revive me. I'm pretty much self-sustained. And whenever you play with other players, you want to make sure that you're pretty much adding value to the team and not needing a lot of revives. So that is Iron Man, who's also a non-player character that was down. So we could revive him, although most likely one of the other players will do. If it was Captain America, then I would definitely go in and revive him, because that's my teammate, as you can see. Now you can see that Captain America, he just healed himself. You may have just leveled up or something, because sometimes you level up and then all of a sudden your health bar goes back up. As you can see, we're both independently fighting in different parts of the map. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take on this one big enemy. I'm going to use my Frost ability, and that does a tremendous amount of damage, because what I do is I literally go into another dimension and then I jump back down into the universe. And yeah, okay, so he's still down me. He's still down me. So once you're down like this, as you can see, the Hulk is pretty well damaged, although he just revived. So one of the other, hopefully non-player characters will revive me fairly soon. Now if you're downed and you don't have respawn, okay, there are 2 types of downs. Right now this is a respawnable area, but if it says not respawn, so here we are with Iron Man. Iron Man revived me, so now I can continue. Notice I'm punching. That's because my hammer was still attached to the door where I was at. So you want to hit the left trigger to grab your hammer. And as you can see, I wound up and took out that big boss that downed me earlier. You'll see these gold orbs. These gold orbs are very, very important, because as you progress throughout the story, what ends up happening is you will unlock these super abilities, and the more of these gold orbs that you run over, the faster those super abilities will charge. Other players can drop them based on their attacks, and they're kind of shared among the whole team, so you want to make sure that you have those enabled so that as you progress, you're dropping them for your teammates, and your teammates are also dropping them for you. So now we're going to head on over to the 3rd floor. This is the elevator. Note the warning sign up in the upper right-hand corner behind the Incredible Hulk.
I can only confirm.
I'm going to see if I can move the camera angle over. There, you can see it a little bit better.
That sounds bad.
Notice the color scheme. This is a very, very popular color scheme for this game. A lot of us who run videos on Marvel's Avengers are using this gold, black, and white highlighted color scheme to make sure that our videos are really consistent with the branding and style of the channel. Now, those of you who are making YouTube videos out there, I really appreciate all the support that you give to our community. This particular video is about the Evil Reborn. It's a walkthrough and a matter of speaking, although throughout I will give you some tips and tricks as I see them. This time I did not actually go check my gear. I probably should have before proceeding, but it's okay. We're gonna have several other opportunities. Every floor we go back into the elevator and we have an opportunity to upgrade our gear once again. So there I see Captain Marvel is running ahead, just taking a breather, and I'm now running with him. As you can see, he's already dropped some enemies and that gold. Object, what they're called. It's a heroic upgrade or something like that. As you can see, all my 3 heroics, my left bumper, right bumper is unlocked, my left bumper and my right bumper individually is unlocked. So I'm going to save those until I need them. Like when I encounter a more difficult enemy, I'm going to start using those. In the meantime, as Thor, I like to sort of stick to pretty much ranged until it's time to really go into the boss. So there, I picked up the orb. I don't already, actually didn't need to because my supers are already activated.
Apparently, that was the last.
Just a matter of habit. Every time I see something yellow, I just run over it because it's either a drop of an item. Those purple things are really good. That's what you use to upgrade your gear. And you always want to look for that white diamond. The white diamond tells you where your objectives are. Okay, here we're going to have a room full of enemies. I'm probably going to activate one of my supers here pretty soon. I begin by just throwing my hammer. Notice this place is quite intense, so I'm now going to activate my super ability, charge my lightning, and it's really going to fill up the area. As you can see, every attack I do also sends out lightning bursts. Now, it just ended, okay? But because I flew over those yellow objects on the floor, it's activated once again. So I can keep redoing my super ability over and over and over again as long as I keep running over those yellow things. Now there's a lot of enemies here, so you see I'm just activating. I like to sometimes jump up and hold down the X key. Now, I'm playing on an Xbox. The equivalent is I believe the square on the PlayStation. What you would do, okay, so notice I always take out the aerial enemies and the lasers. Those lasers could kill you really, really fast. You could be fighting an enemy and meanwhile the laser is hitting you from behind. Really, really great combat action, but I took on way too many at one time. I thought I could because Iron Man was right there with me, but that was actually a good move because Iron Man was so close by. I got an almost instant revive as it was down. Now these guys hit really hard. They can even one-shot you, so you have to be very careful to dodge their attacks. When something is like a red circle like that, anytime you see a red circle, it's unblockable. So what you have to do is dodge out of the way, as I just did right there. And you want to enable your super, like this guy. I'm dropping my frost ability right over the enemy. Now, when he makes a dome like this, he's actually recharging. I want to interrupt that with another super and make sure he doesn't recharge, because otherwise you could be in the same room for a very, very long time and never get anywhere. The more you can shock and stun these guys, that's one of the mastery abilities is your stun. There's a probability that when you attack them with lightning that they get stunned. That's the critical thing to do, because if they're stunned, then you and your party can take down the enemy before they have a chance to retaliate. And that's also one of the best reasons to play Thor in the right way, because as you're playing Thor, what ends up happening is you're definitely a support character, just like Captain America is a support character. The tank is definitely Iron Man, I would say. The super ability is second to none because he goes completely invulnerable during that time. It also makes Iron Man one of the easiest characters to level up because he can constantly keep respawning his super. Well, the super ability of Thor, yeah, there we have a nice view of the black warning sign. Those are the branding colors that we use throughout our channel. So if you just see any videos as you're searching for Marvel's Avengers, chances are it's one of ours if it uses that same gold and black branding, just like the channel. So we're going to head on deeper in here. I see there's a few enemies. I'm just going to pin them to the wall. Now, while you're winding up your hammer, you might get interrupted with your wind-up with an attack. So if they cast a frost or some sort of an interrupt attack, they can even down you as they did right here. It's kind of funny to see my hammer is pinning the guy to the wall, and meanwhile I get down. So now I can go back to fighting the rest and grabbing my hammer and doing some more. But you have to go back to that enemy who wasn't fully taken down yet, so when there's a lot of enemies, as there are in this level, not only will you be leveling up really fast, you also will be being downed a lot. Especially, that's one of the strategies I find if you want to level up your characters really fast. There are a lot of people that recommend farming methods. I think that kind of takes away from the fun of the game. I think it's much better to be mindful as a player, be a really, really good player, be a really good team player, and preferably play with your friends, because your friends will be a lot more forgiving than random people you meet through matchmaking. Right? So like here we're basically trying to get rid of this so we can unlock one of the doors that has really good loot. Now, with these doors, they vary from method to method. This particular one has 2 floor points that you have to find and unlock, although here I'm in the wrong place. It's actually directly behind me. Didn't quite notice it at the time. Yeah, it's right there on the left. You have to find 2 of them on one side, and here's another one. And when you walk over it, it turns blue. So they typically are in pairs. So one pair will be on one side of the door. The other pair will be on the other side of the door. I think they were thinking that each team member would be on voice chat and they would simultaneously unlock them. You see that they're timed, right? So you have to click all 4 of them in a short period of time. You can do that by either running, as I did here. So these 2 turn blue. And then someone else has to fire off the other 2 in time, right? So that's what my teammate just did. And we unlocked the door. And there's typically a laser above us. I don't see why there isn't one this time. Yep, there's the laser. You can run up and try to beat it, but it'll pretty much get a beat on you. So I take out the laser so my teammates can loot freely. Up, I didn't get him fully. I'm going to come back to the laser and take him out. There we go. Now the hammer of Thor is really, really good. One of the nice things about the hammer is it does damage both on the send as well as the receive. So there's an ability that increases the damage on the return path. Now there was another chest, there were 2 chests inside of that area, so it's really, really important that you don't run ahead to the objectives until everyone has looted the chest. So now we're going to move over to the next destination. This is not an elevator, this is one of the areas. Now here you can see
Every member of the elite
my
team must be
controller
defeated.
ran out of batteries. Always have a spare battery on hand while you are playing, because once your controller is disconnected, you're just sort of standing there taking damage. You'll be down, you can upset your teammates. That's again why it's a great reason to play with friends. I made a video specifically about how to play with friends, and I gave some secrets in that. I'm going to put the video link below this video, so if you want to team up, you can. You notice I was down immediately as I plugged in my controller.
I got you.
Thankfully, both my friends came in here. Both Iron Man, the non-player character, as well as Captain America, revived me. I want to make sure before I go into the maelstrom that I am fully in health, and I was. I'm ready to go. I'm going to start pinning these guys down. And what's nice about that is I'm just putting all of my supers on this one guy. You notice how the red on the floor is adding extra damage to him and anyone else that's being attacked him. So I really want to take out this one guy myself, completely myself, just to show my teammates that I can handle my own. And that's one of the keys to being able to play with higher level players. I was saying that one of the secrets of this game, you have 6 characters you can play. And if there is a goal, after you complete the story mission, you want to hit the max level of 50 and the gear score of 150. I mean, it's like theoretically like 130 or something like that, but you want to max out your gear score as much as you can in preparation for the raids and more difficult levels that will be coming to the Marvel Avengers game. So I'm really doing a long wind-up here. I always like to make sure that I hit. That was a really good hit. So what we're doing is we're moving ahead with the looting process. And we're about to enter the elevator once again. Now, if you like this video, I really appreciate it if you could click the little like button. The more people who like our videos, the more likely YouTube is to share it to people who are not subscribers to our channel. So let's go back and add some more mastery abilities. Okay. Flight specialization. That's one I haven't unlocked. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to scroll down to see what the choices are. We can have charged flight. Now that's the one I'm going to target next, is overcharged defense specialization, but I don't have any more points. So while I'm in the elevator, I'm also listening to see if the elevator has finished its path so that I am mindful to my other players. You'll see that almost always I'm a lower level than the other players I'm playing with, but I have a higher power level than they do. That's because I'm continually refining my character. Okay? Now that God ability is a pretty cool ability, but it's more of a single target. I use it mostly for bosses. The lightning storm, the left bumper is better for groups. But I find that majority of my gameplay works best if I just really charge up. I put all of my points into my hammer. So the Bifrost, as it's called, the Bifrost is what I use for these more difficult enemies like this guy. You can see I even wind up my hammer and I hit him. Let's see if I can hit him here. Okay, so I hit him. But you notice that the hammer will not pin him to a wall. That's because he's kind of a little mini boss, really. It'll knock him down for a little bit. But I can see that Iron Man is there. And he's going to start to heal. So I go in here and I do the same thing. I fire off my lightning ability with the left bumper. And then I go directly in here to make sure that I am getting the maximum amount of damage when that very, very valuable ability is being used up. Always take out those turrets.
Yep.
I've lost more lives due to turrets than anyone else. Because you can pretty much see where the enemies are. The turrets, you don't even know. They'll come up behind you and shoot you in the back. So we're now going to proceed to our next destination. And it's a ready up section. If all of the human characters are inside, it instantly loads.
The more the better.
Now if you go in there and you open up the door and someone else is looting a chest, they may get upset with you because you will be...
attempt to initiate a shutdown protocol if they
it's happened to me before. Where I get instantly teleported into an elevator because I'm taking too long to find a chest. So I always try to loot the chests quickly. Again, to be mindful of my teammates.
Beginning infiltration.
You may have seen me in my other videos. I always talk about being a team player. Marvel's Avengers is definitely best played with friends and with teams. And playing with players who really know how to play well. You know, you got each other's backs, you know? You're playing the objective. You know, you're being mindful of opening up loot chests. In this particular section, we have 3 areas we need to defend. That means no one can be walking onto the area, so we have to eliminate all the enemies inside this area. When it turns blue, okay? That's when the hacking progress is there, and you have to keep people away. So I like to just sometimes pin them to a wall until they step inside. As you can see, just already got some yeah, what I'm thinking here is I'm going to stick with this area. If I had another human player, I would say, hey, could someone get on B? Okay, because we're losing B, right? It's pretty much kind of like other team playing kind of games, kind of like Call of Duty, where you have 3 areas you need to defend. And the more you defend them, although here it's you against the computer, you against, the AI, so to speak. You're not playing against other players, you're playing against the AI, artificial intelligence, right? And the way these things work, though, is if you see that bar that says Avengers? Okay, so I just got down. You can't see the bar, but there was a blue bar and there's a red bar. If the enemies continually capture one of these areas, their aim bar, the red bar, is going to go up and you lose the match. It actually resets the checkpoint if you don't let your Avengers bar fill to the end. So you only need to be capturing 2 at a time. Obviously 3 is better. But as you can see, our progress bar is going higher because we're holding 2 places. So I'm assuming that my teammate right here, Captain America, is on one of the blue areas, and I can pretty much hold my own. I can hold my own on my level.
Thank you.
We're 96%. We're kind of moving along. It's gonna be good. We're gonna make this no problem.
AIM security network.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love playing about Thor. It's such a versatile character. My favorite was Iron Man until I really got into Thor, and now I'm pretty much playing Thor most of the time. I still have a much higher gear score and higher level on my Iron Man, simply because I played it more, especially in the single-player campaign. I almost finished the single-player campaign exclusively with Iron Man, and because I love the God mode ability, you know, where you turn into this giant beast and you're completely invulnerable. I'm just going to run over and grab those gold orbs. That's going to become useful in the next area, the next floor. Like in any game, you always want to plan ahead. If my teammate was ready to go, I would see a timer that says Avengers Assemble, right? So he's ready to go. And I made it back to the elevator just in time, so he didn't have to even wait that 10 seconds. You'd be surprised, with advanced
This
players,
Hive specializes in building atoids.
No wonder it needs so much juice.
it's kind of like
appear
this.
to be trying to tip the balance of power back
If
in
you
their
get a good
favor.
group together,
Figures.
the 3 or 4
Let's
of
take
you
this
can
place
run
offline and start to
through
tip it
multiple levels all at once, and you really, really level yourself up. Like, let's say you have one player who's at like level 106, I found, and let's say you want to bring in one of your lower level players. When they know that you're a good team player, they'll be okay with it because you'll level up so quickly because you're playing a much
An
more
elite AIM
difficult
team
area
is close by and on
than
alert.
with a much higher gear
Updating your
score.
HUD.
Everything in this game is gear score. And so if you're playing an area
We got company.
that drops very low gear score because it's too easy, it's going to take you a lot of time to level up and a lot of time to get good gear. But if you're playing with really good players, even if you're lower level than them, as long as you don't become annoying, you're going to be really great. You know, you're going to do really well. So we're on the final floor here, and as expected, this is going to be a lot more difficult than any other floor we've encountered so far. So as you can see, I'm pretty much playing defensively because my teammates are significantly stronger than I am, and because I have the hammer ability, I can safely keep my distance from those really, really deadly attacks. And I don't really want to be down too much, because think of it this way, the more I'm downed, the more someone has to revive me, non-player characters have to run back. Okay, so Warrior's Fury is ready, that's the lightning storm. I really like Warrior's Fury, but I need to be closer to them to attack them. Now those guys, these mini bosses, as I call them, they're attacking me from both sides. Okay, that's a shielded enemy. That's pretty tough because any damage you yield to the front side isn't going to do anything. So I want to take down the mini boss with a combo. I start with my Bifrost, and then I go to Warrior's Fury and drop all the lightning on him. And even necessary, I might even hit the right bumper and take them all out. And you notice that you have a lot more health, almost like an invulnerability. Now that right there, that drone is healing them and shielding them. So you have to take out those drones so that you can do damage to them. Okay? In general, anything gold on the screen is something you want to pay attention to. Okay? Always run over golds. If something is gold flying above you, it's going to be a shield-bearing enemy, even the gold area right there. I have to break that so that he doesn't go in and regenerate. definitely one of the most fun levels to play as Thor, because you get to fly around corridors and all kinds of stuff. So I got to the end. I wanted to just check to see where it was. I'm going to now go back and assist my team, see if there's any more chests to loot before we move to the final area. Alright, just leveled up. I got the God Blast Heroic. All 3 heroics are ready. Now I'm going to conserve these for the final area, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to fire them more than once. And I really, really want to conserve those so that when we hit the big bosses, we're going to be ready. I hope you're learning some of the thoughts that I have as I play Marvel's Avengers.
Yep.
The more you play the game, like with anything in life, you're going to get better at it. I've done a number of videos showing the parallel between gamers' mindset and the marketer's mindset, digital marketing. I do YouTube and digital marketing for a living, pretty much full time. And I have seen that the type of people that are good at gaming are also good at digital marketing. One of the reasons why I make videos like this, because you can almost see that the thinking process, the team play is the same kind of thing that you need to do to win a product launch as it is to play the game. Now here we are in the final area. We have to defeat the enemy squad. There are 5 really, really big, difficult to take down. They're shielded. As you can tell, they're shielded when they have that blue aura around them. This guy right here, we still haven't taken down a single one of them yet. It's going to be a pretty long battle. As you can see, that's because they're all shielded. So even though as we feel like we're taking them down, we're making progress, you can look on the left. Okay, we just got our first one down. 4 more to go. 4 more to go. And only the enemies that have a icon over them are the ones that you have to take down. So I'm pretty much going to focus on this guy as much as I can to try to take him down. You can see as long as that indicator doesn't go blue, he's still available and he will attack us in full force. Okay? If we don't constantly keep pinning him to the wall. See, now we took him out. So I can grab my hammer back and we'll focus on taking out these last 2. Once again, I'm using my hammer to take out the drone.
Another enemy defeated.
Nice gold drop. Remember, I keep saying, anything gold, pay attention to. I got a mighty blessing belt just because I picked up the drops. So it looks like we completed the level there. We took out all 5 of them, the Evil Reborn. So that concludes our video for tonight. As always, a like is greatly appreciated and will help out the channel a lot. And of course, if you'd like to subscribe,
Dr. Cho has
please also click the little bell icon so that you get notified when we release new videos that will show you more things about Marvel's Avengers, rock and roll music, or digital marketing. I'm Vic with Tube Relevance, and I look forward to our next encounter. As you can see, my Xbox gamer tag is several times in this video. I'm happy to chat with you and play with you online, and so look forward to seeing you in the digital world. Bye for now.